All right, well, we are going to go ahead and get started today. I'm Sam Nikolai. I work for UNT and I am helping Coursera with the organization of this program. I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Peggy Shadduck. She is the director of the program. She also instructs in some of the courses. So she is going to be doing our presentation today. So Peggy, take it away.
All right, great. Thank you. I'm going to first bring up a few slides to help me. So give me just a second to get that started for you all so that you can see things. Okay, and we'll get these to show for us. Okay, good. I hope those are up for everybody. So this is a webinar about the University of North Texas Applied Arts and Sciences program. We are very excited about the chance to be able to talk to you all. I assume that each of you has seen some information about this particular bachelor's degree program via the Coursera website or via the UNT website, or maybe even on both. So during this webinar, I'm going to tell you more about UNT for those of you who are not familiar with the institution, and then to tell you more about this particular pathway to earning the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences degree online via Coursera. So we're very excited about this new opportunity. So I thought we'd start by making sure you know who we are. My name is Peggy Shadduck, and so I'm shown in that first bubble right there. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself in just a minute. But I am joined here by Samantha Nikolai, who introduced herself a second ago. She is the person who works with UNT in really working with our relationship with Coursera, and so she keeps everything afloat for all of the things that we're working on here. And then we have Stephanie Alandry, and Stephanie is doing more things than I can possibly count. She's going to today help work with the questions that you all submit through the Q&A box that you'll be able to find. So do look for that Q&A box if you're having questions as we go along. I hope you will type those right in, and then Stephanie is going to head those in my direction as we get to the end of the presentation. So these are my partners in crime here today. So let me tell you then just a little bit more about myself. Again, my name is Dr. Peggy Shadduck. I do serve as the director of the Applied Arts and Sciences program for the University of North Texas. I also serve as the Academic Associate Dean for New College, which is one of the colleges within the university. There are, I think it's about 12 or 13 colleges. I haven't counted recently in the University of North Texas, and New College is one of those. So those two jobs combined mean that I oversee curriculum and faculty and advising for this particular degree program, but also working with faculty and curriculum in a lot of other related areas as well. So my own academic background is a little bit unusual. As an undergraduate, I had an unusual combination of majors. I was a double major in mathematics and East Asian studies. So I think that can tell you right there that I love learning things and get very excited about chances to learn new things. After I earned my undergraduate degrees, I worked as an actuary for several years, and then decided that I wanted to go back to graduate school. So I earned a master's degree in neuroscience from Northwestern University. Neuroscience, if you're not familiar with it, is the study of brains and nervous systems. So I think how all of your brains work is incredibly fascinating. So I enjoy studying that. I followed that up with a PhD in pharmacology, which is not the same as pharmacy, by the way. A lot of people think that pharmacy, the people who actually dispense medications to you, is the same as pharmacology. But those of us who are pharmacologists, we're the ones that are back there actually designing all those medications and understanding exactly how things work with both natural and introduced chemicals into the bodies of organisms. So we're the theoretical people behind all of that side of it. While I was doing my graduate work, I found that I absolutely loved working with undergraduate college students. So after doing a postdoctoral research fellowship for a couple of years, I ended up becoming a faculty member at a small college where I got to teach lots of different kinds of biology related courses, so fitting with my specialty area. But I also got to teach courses that really span disciplines. So I taught, for example, courses on healthcare policy and ethics, and I taught a course on social justice associated with special needs people in our society. So I have very broad interests in the things that I do. I also did continue and do some research in my laboratory with my undergraduate students, and my specialty is actually age-related hearing loss and understanding what's happening in all the chemicals in your brain as we start to have some challenges with hearing as we get older. So that's a very interesting area to me, and we did both computer modeling and then some animal research when we were doing that. So I first got asked to become an administrator when I was working with that small college, and I decided I needed to learn more about some management and policy. So I went back and completed another master's degree, this time in public administration, so that I might be able to translate some of that administrative language that was coming at me so frequently. So I've been leading programs and departments, not only at a small private college where I started my career, but with community colleges, and now at the University of North Texas. So I've been an administrator and a faculty member for more years than I'm probably willing to admit to you right now, but let's just say it's for quite a while. So here at UNT, I don't just do administration, I also get to teach some, and I really enjoy doing that. So if you enroll in this particular degree program, then I'm going to get to see you in class sometimes. I'm actually the person that is scheduled to teach the very first class that you would take in the fall of 2020. It's a course called Fundamentals of Inquiry and Discovery. So I hope if some of you choose to enroll into this degree program that I will get a chance to have you directly as my student. So let me tell you just a little bit more about the University of North Texas. I know some of you may be local to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and others native to Texas, but I know we have some people from other areas of the country and other countries throughout the world, and we really want you to know a little bit more about UNT. You'll notice, first of all, that I'm wearing a green shirt and that we have green on lots of things. We do identify ourselves as the UNT Mean Green. So we wear green a lot and we love the color green. So the University of North Texas is a public university. Its main campus is located in Denton, Texas, which is about 40 miles north of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. UNT has been around for a really long time. It was founded in 1890, so we have been around for 130 years at this point. It started as a college to educate teachers and technical professions, but then it gradually emerged into its current form as a fully active major university. It is the flagship university in a university system in Texas, that is the University of North Texas system. We are the largest of 3 institutions in that system. The system also hosts a smaller university in the south part of Dallas, as well as a health sciences center in Fort Worth. We are also breaking ground for a new branch campus in a nearby city, Frisco, Texas. So if any of you are from the area, you know that Frisco is known as the fastest growing city in the country at the last check on those things. And we have a new branch campus that is coming up there. So UNT does have a total of about 39,000 students. So a good number of them. There are over 100 undergraduate majors and a whole variety of master's and doctoral programs at UNT as well. So although a lot of our students are native to Texas, we do have students from all over the United States and the entire world. It's probably best known for its College of Music, which is especially known for its jazz music program as being probably the best in the world in jazz teaching. We also are well known for our College of Education. Go back to that founding that we started as a college that was going to emphasize training teachers. And so it continues to be a very high point for UNT with our College of Education. We also have really strong programs in a lot of other areas as well. A couple of them that jump to my mind, the College of Engineering has some really excellent programs. College of Business has some really great people. Those are both highly lauded colleges. We have great programs in our College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, in our College of Science. Our journalism program is excellent. The visual arts has really wonderful programs. Hospitality is a great program. I could kind of go on all day, but that's not the point here. Just realize that UNT is a highly comprehensive university with a lot of very, very high quality programs that are ranked in both national and international rankings of university programs. There are a couple of other things that the University of North Texas is very, very proud of that I jotted down on this particular slide. We quite recently got designated as a Hispanic Serving Institution, an HSI. And in order to gain that designation, you have to first of all have a high percentage of Latino and Latinx students who are involved in what's going on at the university, but you also have to demonstrate your level of commitment to those students and making sure that they are successful. And so that's something that we're very proud of, to be able to earn the HSI designation. Also fairly recently, we passed the mark to become what is termed a majority-minority school. And so what that means is that over 50% of our students identify themselves as being a part of a minority ethnic or racial group. So that's something, again, that we're very, very proud of. We also have a very high percentage of first-generation college students. And so what that indicates to you is that we are a university that really cares about making a difference in the lives of individual students and in their families by providing opportunities that might not have been available otherwise. And the really cool thing about the University of North Texas is that we do all of those things while at the exact same time, this university is one of the Carnegie Tier 1 research universities. And if you don't know what that means that the University of North Texas is in a fairly elite crowd. There are only just a few over 100 universities that get to have that Carnegie Tier 1 research designation, and UNT is one of those. So the combination of all these things should tell you that UNT puts together the deep caring about students and their progress and the things they can do in their life, while at the same time being a leader in innovation and creativity, bringing things to help not only individual students, but to help the world as a whole. So we're very proud of our institution, and we like to brag about it quite a bit. So as I'm telling you more about these things, I just want to remind you that you can type in questions that you have as you're hearing me talk about things and there's something that jumps in your mind you want to hear more about. Don't hesitate to type your questions into that Q&A box. Stephanie is watching that as it goes along, and then she's going to send those questions my direction after the more formal part of this presentation. So type away. We're glad to see what your questions will be. Let me move on now to some specifics, though, about the degree program that you came to this webinar to hear about. This is particularly something related to applied arts and sciences. So the Applied Arts and Sciences program offers a degree that is called the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences, or what we refer to as the B.A.A.S. You can say B.A.A.S, but that's a lot harder to say than B.A.A.S, at least on my tongue. So we refer to it as the B.A.A.S degree. This particular degree is especially intended as what we call a completion degree. So what that means is that the degree was designed for students who are transferring in credits, students who have already earned credits through a technical program. Possibly they've earned those credits at a community college. Maybe they earned those credits even while they were in the military, and those appear on their joint service transcript from the US military. We also have students who transfer in credits earned from another college or university, even from another program at UNT. So sometimes we work with students who started in a program and decided it wasn't the right match for them for one reason or another, and they need to now complete that degree, and so they will come join our program. We can even work with students who have earned a 3-year bachelor's degree from another country. So maybe India has a model that has 3-year bachelor's degrees. And we can transfer in those credits toward the 4-year degree at UNT. So as a completion degree, one of our goals is to maximize the application of your prior credits, the things that you have already done. We really want to reduce the time it takes for you to complete your bachelor's degree, and the best way to do that is to be able to use as much of the credit that you have already earned as possible. And so we are very flexible in trying to work with our students to count those credits. So the B.A.A.S degree has been a part of UNT since 1974. So the university's been around for over 100 years. We haven't been around quite that long with this degree, but a very, very long time. So we have a lot of years of experience working with transfer students. We currently have about 1,200 majors in our program at the University of North Texas. And so the new part for us is in partnering with Coursera to be able to offer the degree in a fully online format that we think is going to work really well for students who need a high quality, low cost way to complete their degree, sort of in the most efficient manner possible. So what we're trying to do is make sure that such students can earn a very, very high quality degree from an excellent institution and be able to do that in a way that fits within their complex lives. So almost all of our students would classify themselves as non-traditional students, meaning they often work full-time, they may work part-time, sometimes 2 or 3 part-time jobs is not uncommon for some of our students. Many of our students have families. So going to regular classes on campus can be a challenge for the students that we work with. Our students need to be able to adjust their learning time around those complex schedules that they have with their professional lives and their family lives. So we think that the 8-week class format through Coursera is really going to help us to provide this learning opportunity to even more students than we've been able to do so far, people who need the level of flexibility that we can provide and that Coursera can now help us provide in another format, in this fully online format. So let me go on here now and tell you a little bit more about the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences degree and the particular components of this degree program. So on this slide, I've summarized some of the major parts that go into the degree. The degree has the core curriculum, which is required of all degrees from public universities in the state of Texas. It has several parts of the major, and it has some electives. So let me take just a minute to walk through those different things and make sure you know how those things work. The core curriculum is sometimes called general education. These courses, as I mentioned, are a set of courses that are required by the state of Texas, and many other states in the United States have similar requirements for their public institutions. And so this is intended to make sure that all college graduates who are earning a bachelor's degree have a really strong foundation in their knowledge, that their skills and knowledge are appropriate for someone who has a bachelor's degree. So this is something across the board, no matter what your major or your specialization is. In Texas, that consists of 14 courses or 42 credit hours. And these are things like English composition courses. There's a math class requirement in there. There are a couple of science classes required. There's some history, some government. So it's a set of things to make sure that you have some good breadth to your education and some really foundational knowledge and skills that any college graduate should have. So many of you, if you choose to join into this degree program with us, will already have quite a bit of this completed. And so that's one of the things that we will be looking for when we evaluate your transcripts, is to see which parts of the core curriculum you have already done. And so we would like to make sure you have credit for what you have already completed. But if there are pieces that you have not completed, then through the courses that will be available through Coursera, we have options to make sure that you can finish all the pieces of that core curriculum. So we're making sure that you can complete that part of the degree program. And so now let's think about the major itself, the Applied Arts and Sciences major. That has 3 pieces that I've designated by the 3 bullet points on the slide. The first one is something that we call the occupational specialization. So this is where we're going to use technical or vocational or military specializations. It allows you to transfer in things that you have done in different kinds of areas of your background. So what this particular part is doing is showing that you come to us where you already have a skill set that you have gained by taking previous courses. Maybe you're trained as a cosmetologist or a welder, or maybe a chef or a business administrative support person. Whatever your background education includes, we're going to look at your transcripts and we're going to determine what can count towards your occupational specialization. So this is a part that we are really expecting to transfer into the major for each one of you, but it will be a little bit different for each of you how that happens. So we're going to try to adjust it to you. The next part of the major then builds upon the basic skills that you gained through the core curriculum and through the occupational specialization. So this is a set of 3 classes that we refer to as the unifying courses. I'd already mentioned one of them to you, the Foundations of Inquiry and Discovery, because I get to teach that one in the fall. I really enjoy teaching that class. It's a lot of fun for me. So that class is really intended to make sure that you have the ability, like any college graduate should have, of focusing your innate curiosity into really systematically asking and answering questions. And the asking and answering of questions is essential to being a good decision maker and leader. And we want all the graduates of our program to be able to move into decision making and leadership positions. So this course is specifically designed to help you prepare for situations like that. The second unifying course is one that we call Pathways to Civic Engagement. And again, it's intended to make sure you have essential skills that a college graduate should have. In this case, it's evaluating your outlook on your role in society, how you want to impact your community and your world going forward. That'll be a little bit different for everyone, but the course allows you to really examine that and think about that. And then the last unifying course, the third one, is something that we call Managing a 21st Century Career. So with that course, you take it during your last semester with us. And what we're really trying to do is make sure that we are helping you launch into the next stages of your professional life. So we are trying to make sure you can piece together all the parts of your undergraduate education and explain them well and be able to explain how the different concentrations that you work on having a positive impact on you. So that then brings me to the third part of the major, the concentrations. So the concentrations total 36 credit hours. These are 3 concentrations, each made up of 4 courses or 12 credit hours for each concentration. So for many of you, all or part of a concentration may also come in with your transfer credit. Again, we will evaluate transcripts for everyone and try to see what all might be used toward concentrations for your degree, in addition to your occupational specialization. One of the concentrations that we can accept as transfer credit is a Google IT certificate. So we're excited about that relationship with Google. It is something where if you've completed that particular certificate, that can come into this program as a completed concentration on transfer. So when you enter this program, please be sure to talk with the advisors about other things that you may have done, certificates that you may have completed, and let's see whether those are eligible for transfer in, just like the Google IT certificate. So the concentrations are really intended to help you bridge between your prior education and experience and toward your future career goals. So these sets of courses have themes. And in the Coursera pathway, we're starting with 3 possible concentrations in our first year, so starting in fall 2020. And then we're going to add in 3 more possible concentrations the next fall in fall 21. If you start with us in the fall of 2020, then the 3 concentrations we have available are administration and organizational supervision. You'll choose one of those 2. And then the third one is consumer behavior. Coming up then the next year, we're going to add in a concentration in social services, another one in hospitality, and then another one in media innovation. So we're excited about those options, and we think they will be good choices for a lot of you in terms of the professional pathways that you want to pursue. Okay, there's one more part within the B.A.A.S degree, and that is the electives. So we take all of the other things you have and we say, how much of the core curriculum do you have? And do you have your occupational specialization? We have you take your unifying courses. We have you transfer in and then complete things toward the concentrations. And then there are some additional hours. There are 12 more hours that are left in the degree that can come from electives. Frequently, those are, again, courses that we might be able to transfer in and give you credit for, but didn't fit into the other categories. But if that's not possible, then we will work with you to make sure that you can complete those through the UNT courses offered through Coursera. So I sort of summarized a little bit of this that I've been talking to you about on another slide here to hope that it helps you to see how it all comes together. So the first box where it says the 5 parts of the degree, you've got the general education core curriculum, your occupational specialization within the major that transfers in, concentrations in the major, the 3 unifying courses, and the electives. The parts that you could transfer in, for many of you, you might transfer the entire core curriculum. Others will have parts of the core, and then we'll help you finish that. Usually our students do transfer in their entire occupational specialization. Some courses toward the concentrations can come in, and sometimes an entire concentration in whole. And then frequently electives are often brought in. And I put a note down there, the advisor is going to tailor this part specifically to you. That's why we look at your transcripts and what you have, and we're going to try to see if we can maximize the amount of credit that you can bring in on transfer so that you're not having to take more courses than you really need in order to earn your degree. So once we evaluate all that and we figure out your pathway, then through Coursera, you would enroll in the things needed to complete all the parts of the degree. So it's going to be whatever is necessary to finish your core curriculum, whatever is necessary to finish out these concentrations and complete full concentrations. Definitely it would be the 3 unifying courses, and then electives may be needed as well in order to get this done. So I mentioned to you, but here I have in writing the different concentrations that you can do in the Coursera pathway. You would choose between administration and organizational supervision, and then also be able to do consumer behavior as concentrations. We will probably be able to do both administration and organizational supervision by the 2nd year, but this first year you kind of choose between those because there is one course that overlaps between them. And then coming in the fall of 21, I had mentioned the media innovation, hospitality, and the social services. So hopefully this slide gave you just a little bit of summary about what I had shared with you there. So again, remember, type in any questions you've had as I've talked about this into the Q&A box. Let me just then move on to a little bit about why we think this is such a wonderful degree, and we're hoping that you all will be interested in it. I mentioned to you that this is a completion degree. Is it intended for non-traditional learners? And what this does is it really credits and celebrates the academic work that you have already done, the credits that you have already earned. So we think that this degree is absolutely ideal for people who want to achieve a variety of things. I mentioned already people who need to be relatively flexible in their schedule because of personal and professional commitments. It's a very good degree for those kinds of people. But in terms of thinking about what it might help you with in career moves and so forth. A lot of the students that we work with have been encouraged by their current employers to complete a bachelor's degree so that they will become eligible for promotions that they're not eligible for without that bachelor's degree. So it's a very, very good degree for that, to try to bring you as efficiently as possible toward a bachelor's degree to help you with that promotion. We also have a fair number of our students who are looking to make a change in their life. They have a background in different areas, but now they might like to make a career change. And we are delighted to help design things that will put this together for students to help with those career changes. It is also a degree that students will use as they are heading toward graduate school. So we have a fair number of students who do want to pursue a master's degree, but they haven't gotten the bachelor's degree yet. So for example, maybe you want to get an MBA degree in order to be able to achieve certain things in the business world, but you didn't get the bachelor's yet. Well, you can do a Bachelor's of Applied Arts and Sciences to earn the bachelor's, to then be eligible to apply into a master's degree kind of a program. So we also have some students that are what we call Pride of Completers. And we love our Pride of Completers. These are people who, they don't necessarily need that bachelor's degree, but they want what that degree symbolizes. And it symbolizes some grit and some persistence and some experience. And it can really help people in moving toward different goals that they have. And so they want to be able to say, yes, I have earned my bachelor's degree. So it is a little bit different than a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science degree. Those degrees are actually really built from the point of view of thinking that you're going to have a freshman coming into college who does not have a lot of experience with prior coursework with technical areas and maybe military background and so forth. And you can, by all means, transfer into programs that are what I would call traditional B.A. or B.A.S. degrees. But the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences is called that. It's applied because it is specifically crediting and celebrating work that people have done prior to transferring in. It is intended entirely for the transfer student. So during your capstone course, one of the things that we will do is work with you to make sure that any employers who are not as familiar with this degree will understand it. And so we'll help you design your resume. We will help you be able to put together an elevator speech that summarizes what you're doing, so that if you are working with an employer who's like, I haven't heard of that degree, then you can explain it to them in a really good way. Most employers at this point, though, are becoming more and more familiar with this approach, and they really, really like it. They like it because it is symbolizing, not only does somebody have some knowledge in particular areas, but they do have some experience to go along with it. Many of our students are non-traditional learners, and they have a combination of the educational background and experience that students who are coming out of a more traditional degree may not have. So a lot of employers give us very, very positive feedback about this and really, really like this. So it's a good opportunity for people to look at. We think it's a really great choice, and we're really excited to be able to offer this degree in partnership with Coursera in its fully online format. This is the first U.S. bachelor's degree that Coursera is offering on their platform. And so they clearly agree about its impact and its importance, which we feel proud of because we have a lot of respect for what Coursera does. So we really want to help people who may feel stuck without having their degree, or just want to complete this degree for pride, as I mentioned, and want formal recognition of their intellectual abilities to manage to move forward. So although we've been doing this for over 45 years, this is a chance for the University of North Texas to partner with Coursera in order to share what we think is a really great thing beyond our region. So I've been talking away here, and now what I want to do is answer some of your questions. So again, please type them into the Q&A box, and I'm going to just move here to a open slide and have Stephanie point questions in my direction, and I'll see if I can answer any things that I didn't cover in that presentation.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So we have had a couple questions, a couple repeat questions here. First, what is the maximum college credit amount you will accept?
That's a good question. In order to earn a degree from the University of North Texas, a student has to earn 25% of their degree or 30 credit hours from the University of North Texas. So that's true really of any university in the accreditation system that we work with, the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. So 25% or 30 credit hours would mean that if you have anywhere up to 90 credit hours, it is possible that we would be able to take up to 90. Now, let me give the caveat to be very honest about how I'm answering that. You have to have a certain number of upper level or 3,000, 4,000 level courses to earn the degree as well. And that number of upper level courses is 36 credit hours. So if all of the transfer that you have is lower level, then the maximum that we would be able to take for you is 84 credit hours in transfer because you need 36 upper level. Okay, so with each individual, we're going to take a really hard look at what you have and figure out which pieces are missing for you. So there's no magic answer for any one person in terms of what we're doing. But those are, I'll give you a ballpark about the maximums that we might be able to take.
Great, thank you. The next question that's coming up a bit is, do you consider other factors for college credit, for instance, work experience?
Our program at this time does not give just credit, doesn't give academic credit for work experience. We work with actual course credit. Now, I'm going to add in there that, for example, that Google IT certification that I mentioned, that is something that is reviewed by a national organization, by the American Council of Education, what we refer to as ACE. And so when you have done professional training that is reviewed and has formalized recommendations for academic credit through ACE, then we may very well be able to give some credit in that way. But we don't right now just give credit because, say, you've worked for 5 years at a certain job, you get X number of credit hours. That part we do not do at this time.
Okay, awesome. Next one. How are quizzes and exams administered? Are they conducted online or in person proctored?
We will be doing all of this fully online. So exams and quizzes and other kinds of assessments, projects that you work on, group projects that you work on, will all be done fully online. It is our assumption in this program that the majority of the students that come in through this pathway through Coursera may be coming to us from outside of our usual region of sort of the North Texas area. So we want this to be fully available to someone, whether you are in China or Pakistan or whether you are in Austin or Houston. So it is all going to be fully online for this program.
Awesome. Next question. Will the online courses have flexibility through Coursera to be completed earlier than scheduled, or will graded coursework have a set time frame for availability?
The terms that we are doing are going to be 8-week terms. There will be 2 8-week terms within each semester. So 2 in the fall and then 2 in the spring. First half of the fall, second half of the fall, first half of the spring, second half of the spring. And then there'll be another 8-week session in the summer. So during those 8-week sessions, there will be parts of things where you really could work just on your own schedule and really work ahead on things. There will be deadlines, though, where you really couldn't wait until the absolute last week and do the entire course in 1 week for the grand majority of the courses that you would take in this setting. Many of these courses will ask you to work closely with other people, and for that reason, we need to have you working on somewhat the same time frame. So there's some flexibility in that, but it will fit within those sort of 8-week blocks of time for how these come in.
Awesome. How long will the program be and how much will it cost? And do they need any previous experience?
Yes, for this particular program, it is a completion program, meaning that it is intended for transfer students who already have some college credit. So for the starting point in working with Coursera in this partnership, we are bringing in students who have already earned 60 credit hours toward a college degree. A college degree is usually 120, so people are basically about halfway through from, they've already earned maybe a technical degree in 60 credit hours, or they've earned more credit hours than that, but they have not earned a degree. So you don't have to have a 2-year degree or a technical degree to enter this program, but we do have to have you have some transfer credit that is coming in. The total cost for the courses through UNT, and correct me if I have this wrong, Stephanie or Samantha, I believe it's $330 per credit hour, plus then there's an application fee. I believe it's $75 for that. So if I got those parts wrong, you guys can correct me on that. And then the amount of time it takes you to actually finish the degree will depend very much on what it is you are bringing with you on transfer, and whether you want to be taking, say, one class at a time because you work full time and you have kids and so forth, or whether you want to try to take 2 classes in each 8-week session, in which case you are probably not working full time if you're trying to take that much. So it will be very much depending upon what each individual needs for the total length of time it will take you to earn the degree.
Okay, great. So with that, yes, these classes are $330 per credit hour. And the application fee, there's a one-time application fee of $75 for US domestic students. For international students, the application fee is $85. And then there will be an orientation fee as well that is one time, and that's $35. Okay, so this is a question that comes up a bit because you discussed part of the core requirements for UNT is government and Texas government. Are these students required to take both state and federal government to graduate from UNT?
The requirements for the core curriculum from a public university in Texas are out there by our Texas legislature and the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, no matter where you live. So even if you are from, say, South Korea, you're going to learn a little bit of Texas government. And really, it's a kind of a fun and interesting subject, so you'll have a little bit of fun with it. But we do need to follow, because we are a full-fledged public university in Texas. You will be earning a degree from the University of Texas that is absolutely no different than the students that I have on the ground in the classroom. Then yes, you have to fulfill the same requirements, and yes, you get to learn a little bit of Texas government.
Great. You went over this a little bit just in terms of the concentrations and everything, but just to clarify again, what kind of majors or minors are in this program? And then how flexible is the program with military personnel?
Yeah, the major itself is called Applied Arts and Sciences. And so the major consists then of the different components that are there. Now, each student that comes through this major and earns this degree may have different concentrations and occupational specializations within the degree. So unlike a traditional degree where all majors have basically taken the same set of courses, in this particular one, it is set up to have flexibility about exactly which specializations of one form or another, the concentrations and the occupational specialization each student has. So that's why it's a very, very flexible completion degree. And for that reason, it often works quite nicely for people who have credit on their joint services transcript, because some people will have earned credit, say, toward things they've done related to logistics in the military. Others may have earned credit that is more in the direction of, say, management and leadership oriented things in the military. And those things, as long as those credits are appearing on that joint military transcript, then we will be able to work with that kind of a transcript and a good bit of the credit that someone has there. And I don't want to make a promise that it'll always be 100%, because there are some exceptions where, you know, a course or two might not work for one reason or another. But we do highly encourage and have a very high percentage of our students right now who are with a military background. So it's really an ideal pathway oftentimes for folks who are coming out of the military.
Okay. Is there an increase per credit hour fee for non-Texas residents?
I'm going to let you handle that one, Stephanie, because you are way better at knowing the fees than I am.
Sam, I'm actually going to defer that one to you.
Okay, so if you are a non-Texas resident, you will still pay $330 a credit hour. Texas residents, you pay $330 a credit hour. The only group of people who would pay something different are people who are new to Texas and have not yet established residency. That's a 1-year time frame. So if that's you, the price does go up until you're able to establish residency. So your advisor may work with you to make sure that you can start the program once you've established residency if that cost is prohibitive for you.
Awesome. Peggy, will the diploma come straight from UNT, or will it look similar to other Coursera certificates?
It will come straight from UNT. You are, when you earn this degree, you are a UNT graduate that is absolutely no different than any other graduate of the university. And actually, we will highly encourage you to come participate in graduation ceremony along with all of our other applied arts and sciences students who might not be doing the fully online pathway. Please come shake my hand and march across the stage. That's one of my favorite days, when I get to shake the hands of all of our graduates. And you would be one of our students, no different than any other. What Coursera is doing for us is basically just providing us a platform, a way to reach you all, a way to get these courses to you that was beyond what we were able to do without their assistance. But in terms of the degree, it is absolutely no different. You are a UNT student, no different than any other UNT student as you go through this.
Great. Only just a couple more. If you choose one of the concentrations mentioned, can you eventually change it?
You can. The concentrations that we have out there are the ones that are currently available. We are not expecting to add a lot of additional concentrations in the near future, because we really want to develop these first ones into their fully online format in the highest quality that we can do. So rather than quantity, we're doing quality in our first steps with Coursera. So among the things that I mentioned, these are the concentration options that you have. If there's a concentration that is not starting until the second year, that is really appealing to you, then I would say no problem at all. Maybe start one of the other concentrations or work on completion of your unifying and core courses in your first year. And then when we have the courses available for that concentration that you really wanted in the second year, we'll start you into some of those courses in that second year. So again, we're going to tailor it to what you most want to do within the constraints that we are limiting the number of concentrations in order to maintain our very, very high quality.
Awesome. Okay, I think I am just going to recap real quick a few of these questions that I can answer. So we've had a lot of questions about is there financial aid available? Are there scholarships, student loans? So yes, those are all available. We are going to have another webinar that we have a representative from UNT Financial Aid with us to go through all of those options to finance your degree. Obviously, that is a huge thing, especially right now with everything going on in the world, and it's a huge thing always. So we will wait on that. We can give you more information as we have that typed up, and as we have the financial aid webinar as well. And then, let's see. There was a question if the application fee had to be paid prior to UNT reviewing transfer credits. No. So the way that this is going to work is that if you want to know where you stand before you apply to this program, we have our BAAS advisors who will actually go through all your credits, and your unofficial transcripts is what you would send. They would review them, put them in an unofficial degree planning sheet so you can see exactly what everything would look like coming into UNT. Now that is unofficial. You know, things can change a little bit, but usually they're pretty on par with what the advisors give you. And then at that point, you can decide if you want to apply for the program. On the last slide that Peggy has, she'll actually go through, we'll have you, if you're interested in this and you're interested in a degree planning sheet, you can reach out to an enrollment coach at Coursera, and she will be able to kind of guide you through that process, and then through the process of actually applying and enrolling at UNT.
So I just put up that slide that Stephanie referred to. And so here's the email for Taylor Eldevick from Coursera. She is our key partner in helping to answer some questions for you, and she will help you gather your unofficial transcripts and then make sure those get in the hands of the advisors that work with me at UNT in Applied Arts and Sciences. So we highly, highly encourage you to jot down this email address and to contact Taylor so that she can help you. And then here's also the information related to the other webinar that Stephanie mentioned. We're going to have some of the UNT Applied Arts and Sciences advisors, along with some people from financial aid and admissions, to help answer detailed questions for you. And they're going to do that on April the 8th at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. So we really hope that you guys will sign up for that webinar as well to work on some additional detailed questions about how to work with your transfer credit and your admissions, your financial aid, etc.
Great, awesome. Looks like, and for those who have asked questions and they haven't been answered live here, I am working on getting you answers to those questions specifically. So you will have answers to those. Like Peggy said, we'll have some upcoming webinars with next, we have the advisors, then we have admissions, and then we will have financial aid. So you can definitely catch all of those. Again, this webinar is recorded, so you will be able to go back and view the webinar or share it with someone you know who would be interested in this program. We are all here to help you, and we want you to achieve those goals of receiving a bachelor's degree. And for many people, this is a great route, and it's a route where if you already have credit, we can use a lot of that credit. So Peggy and Sam, if you would like to have any kind of final words here.
No, I just want to say to the folks who took the time to join us today, thank you for adjusting your schedules to join us, and I can't wait to have you class in the fall.
Definitely. I just put the UNT Coursera website in the chat. So after we finish here, if you want to go to that website, you can schedule time with Taylor and learn more about the program. We are happy to answer any questions you have. So thank you so much for attending today. We are so glad that you were here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.